Welcome to Life After Layoff. I am back after taking a nice little mini vacation to Miami this past week. It was great. Got a little sunburned, but I'm recovering. But I hope that all of you have been well. Got a great show in for you today. So we'll kick it off. Kick it off with T square, tangible tangiisms. And today's T square would be that to not overthink this thing, right? I know easier said than done, but try not to overthink this because I found myself going down that rabbit hole where I was overthinking this. What should I do today? Should I get this done today? Should I reach out to this person today? And I just was going until finally I hit burnout. And I was like, okay, I got to get out of this frame of mind that I've got to do, and fall back a little bit and trust the process. So it's not to stop what you're doing, but don't get in a hurried panic to make sure that you're doing this. Give yourself one or two objectives to achieve and to cover each day or every other day, and let that be it. And let the universe take care of the rest. So that is your T square for the day. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Don't get into that panic. It happened to me. And then I had to dial it back because that's not energy that I'm comfortable with. I'm a go-getter, yes, and I have to feel like that I'm achieving, that I'm making strides. But it's not healthy to put yourself in that place where you get hurried and you get flustered and all of this. What will be, will be. As long as you put yourself in position and that you're making a daily or every other day effort to make yourself available for recruiters to find you, that's what you need to do. Just don't get in that place like I did and make yourself crazy. Because I finally got to a point and I said, you know what? I'm done. I have nothing. I've put myself out there. I've connected with the folks that I feel like I needed to connect with. Universe, the rest is up to you. And that's it. So that's your T square for the day. Chill and relax as much as you can, but stay on task and on target. As far as our chess moves and get the bag segments, I have a super duper treat. It's going to kind of be combined into one because I'm going to present a person to you, an interview for you of someone that's near and dear to me and was actually the partner that I had and still have, but they were instrumental in landing the job for me at SiriusXM. So you'll hear from that person shortly. And what I want to go ahead and do right now, because I know I won't be back after that interview segment, is to go ahead and let's pull our cosmic downloads. I'm hearing from a lot of you that you enjoy the cosmic downloads. So I didn't want to end the segment without doing a cosmic downloads. And this is where I pull one of the oracle cards from, can you see that? No, you cannot. I'm going to see, there it is. The Soul's Journeys lesson cards, right? And so I just like to pull one of those each and every day just to kind of get some energy from the universe to see, hey, how should I go through this day? What should I consider in my daily interactions with different people and different things? So let's just see what comes out for us today and see what the universe is saying as far as our soul's journey as we soldier on to find our new next exciting career. Here it is again. We had this before. In fact, it was our first card. It was love. Yeah, I can't get this camera right today. Well, I'll read it to you. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Well, even though we had this before, evidently the universe wants us to focus on this again. So just making sure that you're loving yourself first and that you're committing to doing things in the energy of love, because what you put out is what you get back. All right. So that is the message from the universe today. You saw it there, is the love card. Again, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And the other thing that just came to me, and I don't know who this message is for, is get out of that glass half empty energy. Get out of that. I don't know who that message is for, but that download just dropped on me. If you have that glass half empty, that woe is me, that I can't seem to find a job, nobody seems to hire me, you're going to have what you say. You need to understand that your tongue is a ready writer, as it's written in the good book. What you say, you will have. Redirect that energy into a positive state of mind and call in what it is that you need in your life. Speak what it is that you need to happen with your job situation, with your finances, with your money. Speak that people will align with you to help you move forward on your journey and achieve what you need. But somebody, I just got that just that quick. And that's the reason this card came out, is that you may have started out optimistic, but you've been discouraged because you haven't been able to get the type of responses that you've been wanting to get or that you expected to get while in the job search process. And I'm just here to tell you that you've got to change your mindset, and you've got to change the words that are coming out of your mouth. Everything you say, you're going to have. So start speaking life into this situation. Speak life, light and life, and watch that situation change. Okay? So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to the interview that I have for you today. You might want to get a pen and paper. You'll find some things that are very helpful. And as with always, have a great day and be successful. Later, Gators. And now the interview. Hey, everyone. So, like I expressed before, I will always have great guests who will join us on these podcasts and these meetings that we have with you to help everyone try to find work and find their best new opportunity. Today, I am thrilled to have with us today, Rob Shaw. Rob Shaw is with Yoh, and that is a staffing and recruiting agency out in New York that I worked with to land the job that I had with SiriusXM. When I went through that process, it was seamless. They were very, very friendly. And Rob and I have actually continued our relationship throughout my employment with SiriusXM and beyond. He's always got great information. He's just a ray of sunshine for me, always gives me encouragement. And I just latched on to him. I was like, okay, this is somebody I got to make sure that I'm, partnered with, and is one of, the allies that I keep in my life. So everyone, say good morning to Rob. Rob, how are you?
I'm good, Angela. That may be the greatest introduction I've ever received. So thank you very much.
Just had to speak that thing from the heart, because since you and I have been together on this, you've helped me navigate, to Sirius. And even when I was still under the contract before I was hired full time, you guys really helped me through that process. Remember, I was so excited about the
Yeah.
opportunity to work for SiriusXM, and I'm still grateful to this day that you guys chose me.
Yeah. And it always makes me happy when it's like a double-edged sword as a recruiter when um, one of our clients takes one of our contractors to be a direct hire employee, because then, of course, we lose out on the commission. But in your case, I was happy. I knew you loved it there. I knew they loved you. So it was very satisfying moment for me when they took you away from me.
Aw.
um, and going back to what you said earlier, I mean, you know, you made it so easy. You were great to work with as well. I appreciate you saying that I was easy to work with, but from a canon perspective, you were great to work with. You were always very easy to get a hold of, communicative. Is that a word? I think it
It
is.
is.
Um,
I know it's early,
um,
right?
and you made the whole process flow so much easier. So I appreciate that. And as you said, we've maintained contact. At this point, I consider us more than just a couple of people with a work relationship. I kind of consider us friends. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you very much. So, that being said, I wanted to kind of bring you here to give some insight that maybe could help some other folks who, and myself, who are still looking for work. Some tips and ideas and how to partner with agencies like yourself with Yoh. What are some great tips that you could share when we want to rely on a company like Yoh to help us find our next career?
yeah. Well, the first thing I would say is there are a lot of staffing companies out there, and some of them are better than others, and whatnot. And there's a lot of recruiters out there, and there's definitely some that are better than others. There's I always say when someone's asking me, I say the best way to find a recruiter is through a referral. So if you're if you would know someone who has worked with a recruiter, and they've had a positive experience, that's the best kind of recruiter that you want to reach out to, because there are a lot of recruiters out there, unfortunately, who don't really go the extra mile in their uh, assisting with the candidates with their roles. They don't get back in a timely manner. They might not have good clients that they're working with. So, again, not to repeat myself, the best way to find a recruiter is through a referral from someone who's already worked with that recruiter, I think.
Mhm. One of the things that I've noticed since I've been, looking for another a job, another opportunity, is that I'm getting these emails from like random people that are saying that they're with a staffing agency. And I get it. There are a lot of staffing agencies that are out there, but it's coming clean out of left field. And
Mhm.
it seem like it's scamish to me. Is it prevalent? Are these scams prevalent in this space? And what's the best way to navigate away from that or to avoid those?
Well, number one, if there's obviously, I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but never click on anything if you don't know where it's coming from. But yeah, I mean, you are going to get a lot of cold calls and cold emails, especially um, with the way that social media is right now. People are easy to get a hold of through one of their social media accounts, even just through LinkedIn. So a lot of recruiters, they'll blast out like hundreds of emails if they're looking, say they have an open job that they're looking for, and they do a search on LinkedIn, and you get back 300 um, candidates who fit the profile. Some recruiters will just blast out and a LinkedIn message to all 300 of them, whether they're really a fit or not, whether their profile is marked as actively looking or not. It's kind of just like the shotgun approach.
Mm,
You're just trying to get as much out there as you can.
mm,
Um, I've never been one to do that. I kind of like to be a little more targeted in my searches. But you will definitely get a lot, and they'll be very generic kind of messages. So it can seem like a scam or a spam, and a lot of times they might just be on fishing expeditions, just trying to find some candidates to um, keep in their database for maybe use down the line. They might not have anything for you right now, but they want to get your resume in their database, um, and have that to refer to down the line. So,
mm.
I mean, it's probably most of the time it's probably not a scam, but it might not necessarily be. what's the word? Like a specifically targeted job search that someone is conducting.
I see. I see. So you mentioned resumes, and
Hmm.
that's been a very heavy topic in the spaces that I'm in. And I guess what I guess I want to say is that there's so many different layouts, formats of resumes.
Hmm.
There are some that are very minimal and simplistic, and then there's some that are just very, very detailed.
Right.
When you all are looking through resumes, my first question is, what resume style would capture your eye first? Are there specific things that you're looking for in these resumes when you're trying to scout out, your next prospect, uh,
Right.
or candidate? What can you share with us to help us optimize our resumes to make us more attractive than the other candidates who are trying to vie for this job?
Right. Right. So I know a lot of, like you said, there are a lot of different ways to do a resume. And to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, when we submit a resume over to one of our clients, we format it into a standard format. It kind of looks boring, but it's kind of old school, but we do that because so every resume kind of like looks the same. So if we're presenting 3 candidates
Uh-huh.
for a specific job, sometimes you can only present 2, 3, 4 candidates. We want all 3 of them to look, the resumes to look alike.
I see.
So so the manager looks at them equally. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So the format of the resume isn't so much as important as the contents. Um, you know, I go back and forth with some, like I just did it actually on Friday. This one candidate for a job that he needed experience with AWS, the Amazon Web
Uh-huh.
Services. And he said, "Oh yeah, I work with it every day. I've worked with it for 5 years, but it didn't show up once on his resume." He's like, it's like it's one of those things you work in the background, Rob. I don't know how to put it on the resume. And I told him, I was like, look, if the hiring manager doesn't see it,
It did.
I said, well, actually, I said first I had to get it past my sales rep, and then, so the sales rep sends it to the clients. I said, so if the sales rep doesn't see it, it's probably not going to go to the client. So I said, think of some way you can get that in your resume. Um, so he did it over the weekend. He added a couple of bullet points and they looked good. So we sent it over this morning. So hoping to get some feedback on that. I usually, I don't like to add too much to ask people to add too much to their resumes because you don't want a resume that's too long, too wordy, that's filled with just a lot of buzzwords. Um, I always tell people, you want it to be brief and succinct, but also clear and concise. I've seen resumes that had 30 bullet points for one job. Nobody does that much in a job.
Right.
as busy as some of us might seem, nobody does that much. But they're just trying to get as much attention drawn to their resume. So they put every single buzzword they can possibly think of. And I tell a lot of client or candidates, um, look, some hiring managers take this approach. If it's on your resume, it's fair game to ask you about it.
Uh-huh.
So if it's on your resume, you better be able to talk about it.
Right.
Hiring manager asks you, oh, tell me about so and so. And you're like, oh, well, I didn't really work with it, but the team did. He's the hiring manager is going to be, well, why is it on your resume?
Uh-huh.
So you want your resume to be, factual, but not overly wordy. I think that would be the best way to put it. Um, you want your um, a lot of times people aren't putting proper dates on there. The dates don't match up with their LinkedIn profile. A lot of clients ask us to submit a LinkedIn profile when we submit a resume and look compare the two. And if the dates don't match up, they question it.
Mm.
So right there's a red flag. So you want to make sure that those two match. And Yeah, I mean that's kind of the best advice I can give for a resume. Like I said, you want it to be representative of what you actually do, but you don't want it to be overly wordy.
Thank you. While you were talking, I was just kind of thinking some things in my head. And I know we said we're going to talk about this, but it's coming. You know how I do. So what I've been encountering is being overqualified. And it sucks. It so sucks. I'm like, I get it that I may be overqualified for this, but this is something that I feel like that I want to do. And I feel like I have transferable skills that will
Right,
allow me to do this. And they're like, but you'll get bored and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, but I see a path beyond this job. I'm like, it's
right,
just when I came into Sirius, I came into that job knowing that I could do it if given the bandwidth to do so, but I knew where else I wanted to go within the company.
right,
And it's just that the way things worked out, I didn't get to fulfill that. I was on a good track to do that, but
right,
business decisions had to be made. I respect that, and now I'm in the process of having to start this thing all over. So I don't know. When you get resumes for jobs or from candidates about a specific job, and you see that they have all of these skills, does that ever come into your mind about, oh, this person might be overqualified? Does that keep you from reaching out to that person? Or do what do you do in that case when you feel that
right.
this is just,
Yeah. No, excuse me. Um, it wouldn't prevent me from reaching out to somebody. Um, but it might, let's say a client says, all right, we're looking for someone with 5 years of XYZ experience, and I find someone who has 10. I'm going to reach out to them anyway.
Mhm.
And if their salary requirements fit the budget for the client, I'm going to, and after talking to them, if it seems like she seems like a good candidate, or he seems like he really knows what he's doing, I'm going to submit that candidate over to the account rep and do my best. That's when I turn into a salesperson. I have to sell the candidate to the account rep.
Mm.
A lot of times the account rep and the recruiter don't always see eye to eye. So sometimes as the recruiter, I have to sell the candidate to the account rep so the account rep can sell it to the clients.
I see.
Um, so so it's never going to prevent me from at least reaching out to somebody. As long as I do my job properly, I can get the account rep to submit the candidate over to the client. Now, at that point, a lot of things are going to go through the client's head. Is this person going to be satisfied in his job? Are we going to go through this whole process of hiring them, and then in a year they're going to leave for something that they are more suited for? Um, are they afraid that say someone who's overqualified fits the budget for the salary? Are they just saying they're going to take a lower salary, but still continue to keep looking for something at their desired salary? And again, then the client has to go back and do the whole thing over again. Um, so a lot of that does go through the minds of the client, and sometimes we can do our best to kind of assuage any of those fears. But sometimes, there's nothing we can do about it. If the client makes up their mind that even after the interviewing and talking to the candidates, and if he or she really um, presents themselves well and sells the fact that, look, I may be overqualified for this, but I know I can not only do this job but offer more.
Right.
Uh, Sometimes there's just nothing we can do about changing the client's minds.
Mm.
If they have those fears in the back of their minds, there's just it's going to happen,
Mm.
and it happens. It happens a lot. I mean, it's happened to most people. It's happened to me when I was applying for a job years ago, and I say, look, well, take that overqualification and use it. Give me more responsibilities. So, yeah, I know that was a long-winded answer.
No, it's okay.
But to answer to kind of summarize, no, it wouldn't prevent me from reaching out to somebody because even if that person, I'm not, even if we wind up not submitting that person, I feel that's a good contact that I meet. So I'm always willing to reach out to someone and talk to them. It's just whether or not I can do my job on the back end and convince the account rep and then the client that this is the person that they need to speak to.
Hmm.
So
So right now, you as a awesome recruiter, as an awesome recruiter for Yo, what are you recruiting for? What is your specialty? What is your lane?
well, I've been doing this, I can't believe I'm going to say this, for over 20 years.
Nice.
And I'd say 90% of my time I've been focused on, and I know this is a broad term, IT jobs, software developers, software programmers, DBAs, network engineers. So I've been focused on the IT side of things. Um, uh, we as a company also specialize in we do finance and accounting positions, we do the creative positions, um, what else, we engineering positions, and ironically right now I was actually just looking in our database this morning to see what's out there. There's a lot of accounting and finance positions like financial analysts, accountants, controllers. For whatever reason, I don't know. I would have to do a little digging into that, but there's not a lot of uh we're top heavy in that. We definitely have more positions in that realm than on the IT side of things,
Mm.
at least in my office. Now that could change next week. Next week we can get a glut of IT positions, but right now we happen to have a lot of those finance and accounting type of positions.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now.
Are you seeing any influx of opportunities that's around AI? You know, that's the big thing now, AI, Chat GPT. Have you had any of that? Because I myself am a self-proclaimed Chat GPT prompt engineer.
Oh, okay, all right.
So are you starting to see that now since that's really kind of been the talk in that space?
We did start seeing a lot of that. There's AI, machine learning kind of positions. I'd say towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year. Um, but that it has seemed to slow down a little bit, and I think that's more of a result that the IT positions are kind of slowing. I think a lot of companies, like we had one company, um, we would see 5 new positions from them a week, mostly IT type of positions. Since the beginning of the year, I don't think we've seen 5 total, and
Mm.
I think that's kind of indicative of the way the economy started off this year. A lot of companies just reeled back on those budgets, kind of said, "All right, let's hold off a little bit. We went crazy the last couple of years. Uh, um, let's hold off on too much right now and see what happens over the next couple of months." So it's kind of we're in kind of one of those flux periods, and again, being in this business for 20 plus years, I've seen it a couple of times. Sometimes it lasts for a couple of months, sometimes it lasts for a little bit longer, and then as soon as it's almost like a light switch turns on, and then all of a sudden all these positions come out.
Wow.
So right now it's a little slow, unfortunately. I mean, you probably see a lot of positions out there posted. Some of them just might be older positions that are still kind of lingering around. Some of them might just be, the companies are like, let's get some candidates for when things turn around, kind of like pipelining candidates is what we call it.
Mm.
And as long as the recruiter's honest with you about that, is like I called a couple people last week and said, look, I like your resume, I like your LinkedIn profile. I don't have anything for you now, but I want to make a contact, get your resume in my database in case something pops up in the near future. So as long as the recruiter is honest with you about that, I definitely think that's a positive sign that, that's a decent recruiter to work with because, I mean, if that recruiter's taking the time to pipeline candidates, um, and he's being honest about it, you know that he's not trying, and I say he, I don't want to sound,
Yeah.
he or she. Sorry, I'm a he, so I
Right. I
just
get it.
use me as an example.
Right.
Uh, uh, so as long as they're not saying, "Oh, I got this great opportunity," and then all of a sudden they disappear, as long as that person is saying, "Look, I want to get your information, get you in my system, so in case something pops up next week or next month or in a couple of months, I'll reach out and see if it's something you'd be interested in." That's a good kind of recruiter, I think. Going back to, I think, our first kind of topic, how do you get a hold of a good recruiter, or how do you find a good recruiter? That's, if someone like that reaches out to you, that's definitely someone I think you should maintain a connection with.
Noted. And finally, you mentioned creative roles, of course. Um, this podcast is really to support the folks from SiriusXM, and then of course anyone else who has gone through this type of situation with a layoff. But considering the folks at Sirius, a lot of us had creative roles. Are you still getting opportunities for creative roles? Is it kind of
Yeah, definitely. Like UX, UI positions, marketing positions, what other, product product designer positions. I saw a couple of them. So yeah,
oh,
so there's definitely some of them. There's a little bit of everything right now.
sure.
Like I said, normally we would definitely be IT top heavy here at Yo. But right now we're a little more on the accounting finance positions. But still, there's a sprinkling of everything, some engineering positions, some creative positions. And as I said earlier, you know, most of my work has been on the IT side, but ironically, any of the work that I did with Sirius was always on the creative sides. So I definitely, have some uh, skills in that respect as well. And I'm always happy to talk to anyone, no matter what their background is. And if if I can't help you out, then I'll try and hook you up with a recruiter who is a little more um, skilled in a certain area or whatnot.
Yes,
So
you're very good
yeah,
about that. You always try to work it out and get folks in the right person in the right
yeah,
place.
definitely. Yeah.
So, with that being said, as we wrap this thing up, what's the best way for folks to contact you or Yo and let you guys know that they're available for work and to share their resume with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, my number is and I still don't have it memorized. I got a new one a little while ago. 267 674 8697. And then my email address is robert.shaw@yo.com. And Yo, I know it's a weird name. It's YOH. It's the family name of the founders of the company. It's not Yo, like Yo Adrian from
Yo,
Rocky.
Adrian.
So it's YOH.com. So robert.shaw@yo.com.
Thank you a million gazillion. You are just everything to me. I love the relationship that we have. I can always
Oh,
lean
so do
on
I.
you with, not even just work stuff, but just when I just want to just chat it up or get some ideas, or you're always there. And I just want to celebrate you today and say thank you. Thank you for finding me, for presenting me to Sirius. Thank you for the relationship that we continue to have after that. And I wish you much success, much grace, many blessings. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. And the same to you. As I said, you were, a great candidate to work with. And it's just, I loved watching you grow. I followed you on LinkedIn, and as you did more and more stuff over there at Sirius, I was like, I helped put her there. So,
Yeah.
that gave me a sense of accomplishments. It's been a great relationship, and I appreciate all your kind words and everything back to you. Plus,
Thank you. All right. Well, I'll leave it there. Again, thank you very much. And everyone, be sure to reach out to Rob so you can find your next gig. Have a great day. Rob, we'll
All
talk
right.
soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, please, and come on back. Bye now.